Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, not long ago we went to Bali and bought quite a few sports jerseys. I'm sure I wouldn't be alone there. So what can you do with them when you get back? Now in my case, we've lucky enough to have a room out, or old shed in the backyard that has been lined, and we actually use it as a gym area. So perfect spot to hang up all the Guernseys. Not all of these came from Bali though. Derek Rose came from eBay. Pippen, Jordan and Rodman all came from Bali. Our Adelaide Crows one is actually officially licensed. And then we've got the two Kobe's over there. I've actually got another couple of Jordans I want to hang up, so I've got the white and the black version of his top. I've also got his North Carolina top and quite a few others, but today we'll show you, we're just going to hang the white and the red version of Jordan and show you how to do it. Alright, so what do we need to make this happen? First piece is 16mm curtain rod. I've chosen black. You can obviously use whatever colour you like. About $8 for a 3 metre length. You will need to have a hammer handy, a hacksaw, or in this case I'm using a multifunction tool with a metal cutting blade on it. You will need a level of some sort. Lead pencil. The lead pencil is easier to remove the markings off the wall. Safety glasses. Please make sure that you use some sort of safety glass. I've had that happen to me in the past where using an angle grinder forgot to put safety glasses on and ended up with some metal shards in my eye and having to end up going to hospital and having some rather unpleasant procedures done to try and get that metal out. So please use them. You'll need some wall plugs, depending on what type of wall you're trying to do this to. In this case it's plasterboard. If you're using masonry, you'd obviously be using a different type of wall plug. And the curtain rod brackets. So again, make sure they're the right size for the curtain rod that you're using. These were about just under $8 a pair. Now, I'm using two drills. One's a drill driver. Make sure that the drill bit that you're using is just a fraction smaller in diameter than the wall plugs that you're wanting to put into the wall. And then obviously you need the Guernseys that you want to hang. So let's move on to the next step. Alright, so we want to put our safety goggles on. We're about to cut. Unfortunately none of the clamps will actually hold this in place. So sort of have to hold it by hand basically. Just find our mark. There it is. Well, everything's in there. So I'll just break this off a little bit. Alright, now we can just clean the edge up of it a little bit. At both ends, just clean it up a little bit. Hacksaw will give you a much cleaner cut, but they're obviously take a lot longer to get through this. So I'll open up our packet. Unfortunately, they don't give you any of the wall plugs, so you probably have to buy some separately. The plastic brackets. So I actually put this together now because it just makes it easier to mark out on the wall where you want it to go. A bit of force to get them in there. Alright, so where did the pencil go? Alright, so let's get up to mounting our little brackets onto the wall. Alright, so first thing we're going to try is we obviously want to try and get things lined up. So I'm just going to use steel ruler that I've got. You could possibly use even just a bit of a string with a weight on the end. You could use a laser, but we're going to try just use the steel ruler. Try and get that straight, and we're just going to put a little mark on the wall just so that we know exactly where we want it to go. Now we use a level of some sort, just so we can put a line here for our mounting. Make sure we get it level, which that you can see there, that's level. And we'll just put a very faint line across here. We can always rub that off with pencil afterwards. Alright, so that's in line. We just want to mark our drill points. Alright, so just with the drill, I've just got a drill bit on it that's about the same diameter as the wall plugs. So we'll just line up very gently, put our holes through. There we go. Now we'll just get our wall plugs, just push them in, and then we'll just tap them in gently with the hammer. You don't want to do that too hard, otherwise you'll end up going through your wall. But there we go. Now our bracket. Might be easier to take the curtain rod off for this. And get our driver. Line up with our bracket. And just gently screw that in. I wouldn't go too hard with your driver, otherwise you might end up putting everything through the wall. Alright. Just push that through there and then into the... Oh, it's come off. Line that up with the wall plug. Make sure we're lined up to our level line. Yeah. Alright, so back to our bar. Just grab one of our Guernseys that we're going to hang up. Just feed that through the sleeves. Alright, now we just clip that in. Clip it in at the other end. And then we just straighten it out. You can push that up a bit if you want, and there we go. And that's it. Now we just got to rub off our pencil line and we're all done. Alright, so just a razor to get rid of our pencil mark. You could use a magic sponge, something like that. There we go. Now if you really wanted to, you could, I don't know, maybe use some blue tack or something like that just to pin back, you know, just to hold that back. You could maybe use a little pin just to put in there, down the bottom as well if you really wanted to. Or maybe some 3M, something like that. But there we go, well done. So thanks for watching, hope you find that hack useful. Please give us a like or subscribe if you can. We'll talk to you again soon.